This is the Geek-Craft review for Realm of Heroes. We played 2 games tonight, both of them 3-player. In a 3-player game, you have a 6x6 board with some mountains and some potential forests. In this game, we actually only had 3 forests, and then we will each be placing our leaders and our towers into our areas. So I go first because I have the smallest, largest area
of influence.
So I'm going to put my leader there, and I'm going to put my tower here. And then it goes clockwise.
I'm going to put my tower in this area over here. And the leader is going to go nearby today.
And then Jim is going to stay in the corner and try and hide from the plague.
The plague is the fun thing.
Yes. So we played 2 full games earlier. The first was very much a learning game, and it did take us a little while. But I'd played the game before, so what did you guys think of the game once you understood the rules?
I understood. I really do like it. It definitely takes a game or 2 to really get into it. It's kind of high strategy. You got several facets with this plague always messing you up. It can keep you in a corner, because this is all random, everything's random. The plague can corner you in a spot where it's always taking over and taking away your resource. And then people are taking away your resource, and you always have to balance that. And it's very quick playing, and I do enjoy that.
Yeah. The plague is only in a 2 or 3 player game.
Oh, okay.
To be clear. Yeah. Because in a 4-player game, it's the players fighting for the resources rather than the game trying to combat
Same thing, yeah.
Right, but that's why the plague is there.
Tension without it.
Yeah.
Right, but that's why the plague is there, so for 2 and 3 players.
The gist comes across quickly. Mastery and understanding comes shortly thereafter. It's pretty easy to grasp once you get the fundamentals. Everything kind of builds off of each other. So
yeah, I think it's easier to learn than it looks at first. I think the game is a lot of fun. There are some issues with it. There is a lot of randomness to at least the setup, which will turn some people off and can greatly influence how well some players will do.
But on that note, it is also fun at times to see how much you can do to overcome the odds that are against you, and it adds to the challenge of the game for some players, and it kind of rotates around just by random chance.
Right, and I completely agree. It's just...
Yeah, I concur too. It was pretty fun to learn and play with the... Now I can't think.
It's okay.
It's okay. Fun to learn that all the different types. You got to remember, you got to upgrade, and where that comes into play. You only get that one turn to upgrade your character or your tower to change the whole dynamic of what you're doing, and that, especially the tower, I feel that changes a lot of what you do.
The plague element adds a little bit of a dynamic element to it, because you've got one thing that is finite. It's going to spread in a predictable manner, and then you've got the other players that you have to account for. Human element and choices they may make. So it's going to totally change the game between that and playing without the plague.
Right, and because of the random setup, because of the 2, 3, 4, and then with the expansion 5 to 6 player, I think there's a lot of replayability in the box.
Yeah.
I think you can play the same game with the same people like we did earlier, 2 games in a row. The games went very differently based on how much the plague actually affected us in that second game.
The first game we didn't build beyond probably the second layer on the tree, and I mean each game, based on your original setup, you're gonna have different resources at your disposal. How fast you can build into that will determine how far you go in the game, and that'll determine a lot of the end game. So
trying to cut the people off and build up, that's really hard to manage, but it's very fun at the same time.
Yeah. So I know I really enjoyed it. And I think you guys both did as well.
I enjoyed it a great deal. It's, like any mathematically based tile grid type game, you've got a lot of computation between the different areas and trying to figure out and cover yourself for different abilities that may come into play on the next turn. But it's kind of nice trying to play a game that you have to look farther ahead than most games, where you're playing a short game and trying to just grasp points quickly. This, you have to watch ahead and try to plan ahead for what you're going to be doing several turns from now.
One of the other potential issues with this game for some people is going to be there is player elimination.
very quickly in some cases.
In some cases, yes.
Yeah, very quickly.
But I think even with the player elimination, the games are short.
Yeah.
Once you understand how it works. I've been doing 2-player games of this in about 30 minutes. So it actually, once the players understand how the game works, the game really does pick up and play very quickly.
And truthfully, we're feeding each other a lot of information as we're playing and helping each other with the computation. So it's not really, didn't feel dramatically longer with 3 players.
No.
So it's
No. I think it probably even gets a little shorter the more players involved, maybe.
to an extent.
To an
Right.
extent.
Aspects of it. but-
Yeah.
Right. There is room for analysis paralysis,
Right.
like you had said earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like you said, there
But you
is
got a
lot
bunch of players that are all
room
hawking over the table and can kind of help
Right.
steer that a bit too.
for-
So-
Right. No, there's definitely room for coaching and for helping other players. So, I came in and I know how the game works and I know, good strategies.
Yeah.
And I can kind of help you guys out. And in that second game, I
Per
think it really showed.
Per the coaching comment too, you've got when there is player elimination, it's kind of more of a learning tool. The game plays quick enough that you don't feel, hey, I'm out of it, I'm not going to be playing forever.
Yeah.
I'll be back into it on the next game, and
The game's
I got
quick
something
enough.
out of that. I
Yeah.
got something out of the experience.
Right.
What did I do wrong? What can I do next game? And then you're watching the other players and you're kind of seeing what they're doing. It's an opportunity to observe strategy also. So you'll be back in the game quick, and
Yeah.
hey, hopefully you get something out of it.
Right. I think it's really a growing game. It's
Right.
that first game, you're going to kind of clunk through it and things aren't
Be a
necessarily
little
going to make
bit
sense.
intimidated, really.
Yeah, and things aren't going to necessarily make sense strategically. But as you build and as you play more games and you see how different players play it, I think it's really going to grow.
It's definitely learning the buildings and what all the different pieces that go, which are in your other review,
Right.
and such. And
Moving a guy into a territory to seize the territory, and then being able to move through it with a different guy.
Yeah.
and certainly
It's-
just being able to cut people off. you
Right.
know, with the
No, there's
that.
It's
Yeah,
a game
it-
of options.
yes,
Certainly.
there's a lot going on, but at the same time, it's not that hard to pick up. So
No, it is not. 2 games, we were into it,
yeah,
and that
Right.
and I enjoyed it.
It's intuitive enough too that once you get it, you come back to it, sometime later. It's pretty logical. You'll pick it up again pretty
Yeah.
quick with just a quick brush up. So.
yeah. So I think overall, it's a hit with the 3 of us.
I'd say so. I'd play this again. Certainly.
Yeah, it's definitely one I'm
Certainly.
interested
I got
in
a
now,
couple
so.
people.
I was apprehensive going into it, and I enjoyed it greatly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I got a couple people I'd like to play against just to run them off the board or whatever. I've got a couple brothers. They'd enjoy this, I
Yeah.
think, and I would take this.
Right. All right. So that's the review for Realm of Heroes by Geek-Craft. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.